Coming up on today's show, I am going to be discussing the news that Rob Newman and West Ham are setting up a scouting network over in Brazil to try and scout some players to come to West Ham in the future transfer windows. All of that and more is coming up on today's December Daily. So with the appointment of Rob Newman to the club a couple of years ago, West Ham United have looked to take things down a different path. You look at the signings we've made in the last summer transfer window, whether they were Moyes, Newman, Sullivan, whoever signings, something has changed there. We've gone from signing West Ham type players, Jared Bowen, Thomas Soucek, those sort of players, to players like Lucas Paqueta, Gianluca Scamacca, all of these sort of really exciting, pleasing on the eye, on paper signings. Now, also to add to that, of course, what looks like to be some early January business. Plenty of sources are confirming that West Ham are close to signing a Brazilian defender, Luis Leão. And this is where this has come from. Rob Newman went, he flew over to South America, spent a lot of time in Brazil, and he sort of set up a scouting network over there for West Ham to try and hunt and scout some of the best young promising players over there. Now, there was obviously conversations of where, because we've I'm not really sure what Rob Newman's sort of official job title is. I think he's like chief scout or director of something or other. So that's his job. Now, we've not really had a proper official titled bloke or woman or whoever to come in and sort this out. Now, it looks like we've got that now with Rob Newman, and you've seen a sort of difference, whether it's for better or for worse. You can make your own mind up for that one. But when you look at it, we've, as I said a little bit earlier on, you've got different players starting to come in, with a sort of different angle and different perspective of who West Ham should be bringing in. Now, I don't just think that's because Moyes woke up one day and went, I'm going to start signing some exotic, really nice, exciting on the eye, powerful players that are going to come and on paper make us look like a really good force. Now, if he's done that, then he's been obviously very mistaken, because at the start of the season we have had, but something's obviously changed there. So there was obviously a meeting between whoever's important there to say, right, we need to set up a scouting network so we can be one step ahead and be looking constantly at signings from a specific geographical area. And we've gone, right, Brazil. Now, we've set up a scouting network in Brazil, so it would not surprise me at all if we start to see a few more Brazilian players being worked into the club. Of course, Lucas Paqueta, the first one in the world. Felipe Anderson was a recognisable one a couple of years ago, and we all know the story behind that one. But yeah, all of these sort of players coming into the club. We've heard about another Brazilian player that could be coming our way as well. So it seems like we firmly set our eyes on Brazil and South America at the moment for our signings, maybe, which might divert us from perhaps the Championship. Maybe, I'm sure David Moyes would always keep an eye on that, but maybe we're just thinking a little bit outside of the box and not making the sort of generic signings that you'd expect us to make in transfer windows. We're thinking outside of the box. We're making different signings, and we're just going to have to wait and see whether it works or not. I suppose you could call it, as I said in the title, the Rob Newman effect, because he's came in, obviously was at Man City previously. He's got a good track record, and obviously so far, if he was behind any of these signings that have came in, most of them, let's be honest, have not been great. But there's still time. And players like Paqueta haven't really burst on the scene as to if they've done quite the opposite, to be honest with you. Paqueta has been quite a disappointment in claret and blue so far. So I'm sure he and Moyes and everybody else will be hoping that these players can come good. But there's only a short amount of time left now for us to keep saying it's only a matter of time. We've just got to wait until they come good, because they've had a good few months now, and with a January transfer window looming, I'm sure that West Ham will want to be sort of decisive about these things and want to look back and and the board and everybody else want to look back and say, look, we spent X amount of money in a summer transfer window. We spent a lot of money. Has it been well spent? And should we look perhaps down a different route in upcoming transfer windows if David Moyes is still West Ham manager come these sort of situations in upcoming January and summer transfer windows? So it's definitely building blocks to a project from Rob Newman and obviously I suppose David Moyes, especially in the short term, if not the long term, if he survives that, is involved in this project, and West Ham firmly setting their eyes on the Brazil side of things. What's your thoughts on this? Put that in the comment section down below. I thought it was just an interesting topic to discuss on today's December Daily, keeping you up to date with all the West Ham news and different subjects every single day up until Christmas, fingers crossed, to keep you in the loop as we look forward, as we are now 11 days away from our game against Arsenal on Boxing Day. Some are looking forward to it, some are not. I'm not quite sure yet, but yeah, this is, I suppose you could say, exciting or thinking outside of the box and doing a little bit different to what West Ham would usually do. With West Ham setting up a scouting network and massively Rob Newman being involved in that, working out in Brazil to scout some new talent for West Ham United. So that's it from me. Put your thoughts of what I've discussed into the comment section down below. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to our channel sponsors, SRM Carver and Son, by clicking the link in the description down below. And without further ado, that's it from me. Come on, you Irons, and I'll catch you soon right here on West Ham Unofficial. Cheers, guys, and bye-bye.